Hey everyone, I'm Teresa. Welcome back to Lost My Thread. Today is my roundup of week 4 of Me Made May, so you're going to see what I've sewn and what I made this week. So it has been another good week of taking some old garments and breathing new life into them. I have got a couple to share with you of, I would say, pretty big transformations before I get into what I wore this week. The first one I'll talk about is a dress that I made quite a few years back. I know that I got this fabric when my husband and I went to Savannah, Georgia, which I know is in 2013. We got it from a really beautiful fabric shop called Measure, a fabric parlor. And I must have made this dress probably within the year of buying the fabric, because at that point I didn't used to have a whole lot of fabric. I would just buy what I wanted to make something for and then I would make it up. I feel like I need to apologize because you're probably going to be hearing a whole lot of banging going on because my neighbors have obviously decided just now to start doing some kind of DIY building type stuff. So if you're hearing a load of banging, that is why. The fabric that I got is this really gorgeous cotton lawn fabric. I absolutely love the beautiful floral print. The colors are absolutely stunning. It's such a lovely, just lightweight, drapey, billowy fabric, just like cotton lawn should be. And I made a dress, which was the new look 6557. This was a wrap style top section with just thin spaghetti straps and then just an A-line skirt underneath. The issues with this one, okay, there's a couple of issues with a lot of these things, to be fair. One is that this fabric is pretty doggone sheer, so I really couldn't wear it without wearing a slip, which is always just a bit less comfortable, especially when I'm probably going to want to wear this style on a hot day. I didn't really want to wear a slip under it, so that was a bit of a pain. And then the other thing is I intentionally made this dress so that I knew that it would give me coverage over a type of bra that I used to buy quite a lot from Victoria's Secret. I stopped buying that type of bra quite a few years back. They don't actually make bras in my size now because I was buying the wrong size like so many women. But anyway, I ended up not being able to wear it because I didn't have anything that I could wear underneath it. It's basically just not gonna work really. So I did take some photos when I started my Instagram. So this was in 2019 that I took these photos. And the only way I could do it was undoing the straps of my current bra and kind of tucking everything in just so I could take a photo. But it was not going to be a practical thing that I could wear on the day-to-day, that's for sure. But I loved the fabric so much and the dress was just so pretty. I didn't have a great solution, but I didn't want to get rid of it. And it has just been sitting around since, I would guess, maybe 2018 and yeah, 2017 maybe, and it wasn't getting worn. I wanted to do something with it, and because it's such a beautiful fabric and because it's nice and lightweight, I wanted to do something where I could use that cotton lawn structure, that billowiness, and I decided I wanted to try to make the Norma Blouse by Fibre Mood. I have made the Norma Blouse before, so I know that I like the fit and the shape of it. It normally has like a 3/4 length sleeve with a big balloon sleeve effect, and I think it looks really awesome. It's a button-up shirt pattern with a nice V-neck as well, which is like really good, just on the perfect spot V-neck. And I thought it seemed like a really good choice for this fabric. But when I took the dress apart, saw what I could place where, I realized I wasn't going to have enough for the sleeves, because the sleeves are actually quite a lot of fabric. The pieces for the sleeves, because it's a big balloon sleeve, are pretty big. So I realized that that was not going to be an option. So what I decided to do was to just shorten the sleeve. So I still wanted to have that puff there, but it could be a short sleeve blouse. And I was hoping that that would work. I did wonder if it might be better with like a sort of butterfly sleeve, like a big fluttery sleeve. So I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll make the top, I will stitch the sleeve in and I'll see what it looks like. And if it looks good as a flutter sleeve, I'll leave it. And if it looks like it would be better gathered, then I'll gather it. So in the end, it didn't really work with the flutter sleeve, but with the gather, it is so cute. I love how it turned out. I don't think I would have probably tried this hack before. I think I would have assumed that it would be a little bit too, I don't know, little girly, too cutesy. And it is cute, but the fabric isn't really cutesy. And so I feel like it just looks really beautiful and feminine and elegant. So I'll show you the blouse. Obviously, you'll get more of an impression when you see the photos of me, but there's some lovely gathering up on the shoulder and gathering just into this little cuff. So I used the same piece. There's supposed to be a little cuff just at the edge of the balloon sleeve. And so I used the same width of that cuff, but I just made it a little bit longer. So I measured around my bicep measurement and made it 1/2 inch bigger, and that turned out perfect. I also used some reclaimed buttons. So for the buttons on this, whoop, dropping stuff, hopefully you can see. I really love these buttons. These were on a cardigan that I had many moons ago. I got this cardigan when I was a teenager that had these buttons, and I really loved them, and I wanted to keep them because why throw away good buttons? And it's taken me this long to actually use them. But yeah, hopefully you've gotten a good view. They're these really pretty little flowers. They're like a pale pink color. They're obviously quite transparent, but I feel like it works well. It's a nice sweet detail, and like I said, the fact that it's some buttons that I saved from an old garment just seems all pretty perfect with the whole idea of just using what I've got, refashioning old garments, and not making new things this month. I also refashioned another garment, but I was actually filming along the process because I wasn't quite sure how it was going to go, and I wanted to talk through my thoughts as I was doing that refashion, so I'll cut to that now. So this is the Sew House 7 tea dress. This is in a really beautiful viscose linen noir fabric that I got from Melanated Fabrics. It's in this beautiful periwinkle blue color. I love the color, I love the fabric, it feels so luxurious. I made this with so much care. I've got French seams throughout. There was a lot of hand stitching, so I hand stitched this facing down on the inside, hand stitched the hem, hand stitched these cuffs on as well. So I took a lot of time and a lot of care to make this one. Like I said, I knew I loved the fabric before I even made it. I had seen so many beautiful versions of this dress on Instagram. I was really absolutely ready to love this dress, and it is just not what I was hoping for. I haven't tied it yet because I want to give you an idea of what it is like. So as you can see, it's actually not super huge in the hip. I've got room to move, but it's not ridiculously big there. It is pretty big in the waist area, but that is meant to tie. I think the proportions of these sleeves are a big part of the issue. This cuff I don't think is doing anything for me, and I have a lot of excess under here, so I feel like this probably needs to cut in a little bit closer to my body. I like the V, the depth of the V I think is really beautiful. I really love this princess seam shaping that you have from this this front facing. Lost my name for what this was. It's not a facing actually because it's on the inside. It's just a panel. It does separate at the waist. The pockets I think are really cute and they're really roomy. Like I said, there's a lot that I like, but you can understand maybe why it's not quite right for me. So I'll show you how it is tied because you can tie it at the front or the back. So tied at the front, it's not too bad. It takes in the bit of the waist, so I'm not really so worried about that, but I still do have this obvious excess fabric, the length of the sleeve. I think the length of the dress, it's probably just a bit too long for me, so it's just a little bit below the knee. I might prefer it to be a bit above the knee. That's an easy enough thing to do. But yeah, I just feel like it looks kind of sloppy. Somebody said to me, after I'd said that I wasn't totally happy with it, that funnily enough, it actually reminded them a little bit of scrubs. And putting it on more on now, I'm kind of seeing that a bit more than I did at the time, which is interesting because, you know, that's been an issue for me before. Let me show you what it's like tied at the back. So again, not bad. I like the options. I like being able to tie it at the front or the back. So I kind of feel like from the waist down, I'm pretty happy with it. It's the top section. It's the top that is just not right. I think the tricky thing for me is I don't quite know what I want to do. I think I'm going to start by taking these cuffs off because I think even if it was just a shorter sleeve that would help. And I'm going to look at the shape of this and compare it to other patterns that I've got with a grown on sleeve. So this is just one piece grown on to become the sleeve, and I think if I can make it more similar to another pattern that I feel like suits my proportions better, then hopefully I'll be in a better situation. So as a comparison, this is my Brea Tee that I know fits me really well. I've got the back and that's the front. So the main difference is this is made with cup sizes. So the back, you can see that it kind of curves in under the underarm more than the front, and that's just to accommodate for my bust. I'm happy to go with that, honestly, because I don't feel like there's a huge difference. And if I line these up, trying to line this up with the V. I think I need to remove a little bit under the arm and then significantly shorten the length of the sleeve here. I call it a sleeve. It's not especially a sleeve, it's a little grown-on section. This cuff as well, I think I can use because this top is meant to be having a little band over there as well. And this is the armband, which looks like it's probably the same size as that armband as far as the length of it. The width, this I believe gets folded in half when it goes on, so I definitely don't need the whole thing. But if I can take one of these off, because I've got two armbands obviously, I think I can probably get my armband pieces, or I'm sure I can get my armband pieces from that. And then I can try and just follow along here. I want to keep my French seams, so it's always a little bit tricky to unpick French seams and then redo them. I also want to try and maintain 5/8 of an inch seam allowance to be able to do the French seams, and this pattern has a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. So I'm just going to have to bear that in mind as I'm cutting it out, but I'm essentially just going to follow this, and I feel like theoretically that should fit then more how I think it will work for me. Right, so I haven't tied this yet, but instantly so much better. It's not like figure hugging, which it didn't need to be, but I'm really liking that now. So I'm going to tie this up and then see what I think of the length, because I might feel a bit differently now that it's different how it's fitting in the bodice. I think I've saved it. Let me move you back. Do the tie in the back just so I can see options. So the end result is, I love my new tea house dress, my new old tea house dress. I feel like just that little change in the shape of the bodice and the sleeve just made it so much more my style, a shape that suits my body well. I do love this fabric. I managed to maintain all of my slow sewing efforts as well. So I've still got French seams all going on the inside. I've still hand stitched the cuff onto the sleeve as well. I think why not see this beauty inside out, right? So we've got these lovely French seams. Like I said, I've hand stitched the cuff on the inside, which I'm sure you can't really see. This facing is all stitched in by hand. The hem is all hand stitched as well, like a blind hem on the bottom. Yeah, I feel like I went to town with the finishing on this dress, and I'm so glad that I was able to maintain that when I did my refashion. And I feel like as a result, this dress is just everything that I dreamed it would be. It looks so great on. It is so comfortable. Like I said before, this fabric just feels so luxurious and just wonderful on the skin. One of the things I love about viscose linen fabrics is they usually have quite a bit of weight to them in quite a pleasing way. So you kind of feel like it's holding on to you, if that makes any sense. If you know what I mean, you know or you don't, basically. But I'm so happy to be able to have this dress in my wardrobe now. Like I said before, it was just so close, and I really, really wanted it to be the dress that I envisioned in my mind. And I feel like it is now better than I hoped, and an absolute favorite, I think, now going to be in my wardrobe going forward. And now on to what I wore this week for Me Made May. So on the 22nd of May, I wore my Bardon dress. This is a dress that was designed by Elbe Textiles for Peppermint Magazine. This is in a really lovely fabric. It's another viscose linen, funnily enough. And this is one that I got from Blackbird Fabrics. I actually got this in like a plain, I think it was like an ecru or just like a egg white kind of color. And I tie-dyed this one. So I had quite a lot of fun with a shibori style tie-dye in the summertime, and I sewed it all up just recently, and it was my first opportunity to wear it. We had the most glorious sunny weather. In general, we've been having a lot of really sunny weather in London, and that day when I was wearing it, it was just such a beautiful sunny day. My husband and I decided we needed to go for a walk and have a picnic because it was just too nice to sit at home, and it was absolutely perfect. And it was such a comfortable dress to wear because it's not too form-fitting. It is just really breathable. It moves around you just feel so comfortable. And that's my second Bardon dress, so I'm happy to have the second one because I wore the first one absolutely a ton last summer. So I think this one will be getting a lot of wear as well. On the 23rd of May, I was wearing my Sallie Jumpsuit. This is a jumpsuit by Closet Core Patterns in a really beautiful viscose jersey. This one came from Stof and Stil, this fabric, I'm trying to remember. This was actually where my love affair with the jumpsuit started. So this was my first ever jumpsuit. I made it in May 2019, and I made it because there was a couple of sewing challenges going on that made it feel like it was the time to try making a jumpsuit. One was Sew Together for Summer challenge, and this was Instagram hashtag challenge, and what they were asking people to do was make some kind of one-piece jumpsuit, basically. Jumpsuit, I think you could do like a romper, like shorts playsuit kind of a thing, or full long legs. And then there was also the So Brave challenge going on at the same time, another hashtag over on Instagram. The idea of the So Brave is to try to make something that's a bit out of your comfort zone or something that scares you a bit. So I'd never put on a jumpsuit, I don't think ever in my life. Maybe I had a shorts playsuit when I was a kid, but I tell you, it's been a long time. And I had this idea, it was really funny to read back on the Instagram post for this Sallie jumpsuit, because at that point, even when I posted on Instagram, I still wasn't sure if I liked this jumpsuit. Well, basically, I just wasn't sure if I liked jumpsuits. I didn't feel like I would be comfortable in a jumpsuit. They seemed like something that looked great on other people, but I didn't feel like I was a jumpsuit person. I'm quoting myself. So apparently I wasn't too sure on that. And apparently I am a jumpsuit person because I have gone head over heels for jumpsuits, and I've made many more, and I plan to make more. So this was my first foray into jumpsuit making. I really do love the style of this one. It is just so comfortable and just easy. I feel like that's the big thing with jumpsuits that I love. It's like a dress, you know, it's like a one thing, it's on, you're dressed, you're good to go. But the jumpsuit element makes me feel like I'm a little bit even more together because I've got like trousers and it's a one-piece thing. I think it's all in my head, but the point is I feel good in a jumpsuit, and so I really do like wearing them. And this one, it's in this really lovely drapey fabric. It's got this like little grown-on sleeve. Again, a really nice V-neck with a good depth of V, which is always going to be a winner for me. I also really love it's got an elasticated waist that's not too tight but just comfortable, a big full wide leg so it kind of swishes around with the drapey fabric. It was definitely a good first one to go for, and I really do need to make another Sallie jumpsuit. I've made a couple of maxi dresses and I've got more that I want to make, and I also definitely need to make more of the jumpsuit because I know that I love it and I know that I'm going to want to wear it. On the 24th of May, I was wearing my Sirocco jumpsuit. This is from Deer and Doe, a recent make that I made as a collaboration with Sarah from Naughty Gnome Crafts and Emma from So Do It. Emma, I'll put a link to the video where I shared all about that jumpsuit in much more detail. But it is a really super comfortable jumpsuit. I can tell already this one is going to be a big favorite. I got so many compliments at work when I was wearing this jumpsuit, which is always a good sign. It really is one of those like total secret pajamas. It feels like I'm wearing pajamas. This is such a comfortable ponte roma fabric. It is just kind of hugs you just where you need it to, but not where you don't need it to. It's really comfortable. It looks super cool. I really, really love it. I was also wearing it with my Pona jacket by Helen's Closet. This is a jacket that I've made in a linen that I got from Guthrie and Ghani. I really like this jacket. This is one that I actually was inspired to make after last year's Me Made May when I saw someone else had made one. And I feel like it's very versatile because of the look of it and the crispness of it. I feel like it can look more sort of casual or more dressy. So I feel like it pairs together with different things really well. And it's been really great for this kind of transitional weather. There have been definitely quite a lot of days where I wore the Pona jacket, but I didn't take a photo of it because I only took one photo per day. So you probably would, you can imagine this with many of the things that I've been wearing in general this week, but that was definitely, I think, a nice pairing just to see it styled a little bit differently than I had initially. On the 25th of May, I wore my Heyday Dungarees in this really beautiful enzyme wash linen that I got from Sew Me Sunshine. The Heyday Dungarees are a Waves and Wild pattern. This is my second time wearing them this month. I really do enjoy wearing these overalls, just overalls in general. That's another one of these things that I wasn't sure if they were going to be for me, and I made some and they're an absolute hit. I feel like they're just very comfortable and you can move around in these really easily. You know that you're going to have good coverage. Nothing's going to be peeking out where it shouldn't be. They're a really fun one to pair with all kinds of things in my wardrobe. And so I was pairing them this day with one of my Brea Tees by Halfmoon Atelier. This is probably the pattern that I have made the most. And I like the versatility of it because it can look a little bit more dressy or a bit more casual depending on what you pair it with. And this one I made in a really beautiful stretch viscose twill. It's got a very similar shade. The spots on it are very similar to the fabric on the overalls. So I think they're a fun one to put together. And this was just a very comfortable, easy kind of look. On the 26th of May, I was wearing one of my favorite dresses. This is a dress from the Great British Sewing Bee Sustainable Style book. So this is one that was written by the ladies behind Selkie Patterns. And I love this dress. It's called the midi dress. It is definitely just a really great shape. I feel like certainly for my body, it is just all the right kinds of looseness where I want it to be. So it's not super fitted, but it is quite shaped in the waist. It's got a nice V, perfect depth of V on there. It has these really beautiful gathered tiers. There's a couple of sections of tiers on there. It has an invisible zipper in the back. It has these really nice sleeves, so it's a bit of a puff on the sleeve. They're not overly huge, dramatic ones, but I think that's just a really cute feminine detail. This is one that I definitely get a lot of compliments on in general when I wear it, and I've had multiple people asking me if I could make one for them, which, I mean, I'm not going down that road, but I always take it as a compliment that they like it that much at the very least. It's one of these things that I cannot believe I've only made this dress once. I love it so much and I wear it because it's this viscose fabric. So this is a really gorgeous Dashwood Studio viscose fabric designed by Rachel Parker. I mentioned her before. She's my favorite textile designer. I got this from Guthrie and Ghani, and I will say that it is just the perfect fabric for it because it is a little bit heavier. It's not like a super lightweight viscose challis. It's got a little bit of body to it. So it's actually a great one to wear in the autumn and in the winter with tights. So I really do get a ton of wear out of this dress. And so I am planning to make a summery version. So it's going to be coming up in my summer sewing plans because this dress is just too good to have just one. So I will be making another one of these dresses. Loved wearing this dress this day and just every time I wear it. On the 27th of May, I was wearing the Yellow wrap dress by Named Clothing. This is one that I made relatively recently. It's in a bamboo jersey fabric in this incredible petrol blue color. I absolutely love the color of this dress. This is very comfortable. This is my favorite dress for when I want to feel amazing. It wraps around, but it covers you up in such a perfect way. I feel like I look awesome in this dress, even on my worst days, and I feel so comfortable. Somebody mentioned on the Instagram post for this one that the tie around the waist reminds them a little bit of that tying like a sweatshirt around your waistband, or around your waist rather. So you're wearing a sweatshirt like a hoodie and it gets too hot and you take it off and you tie it around the waist. And they liked that feeling of like kind of being snuggled. And I think you do get a bit of that feeling from this dress. I think it probably comes across more like that in the photo than it does in real life as far as the visual element, but it is very comfortable. The one thing I will say though is the bamboo jersey fabric. It's going to be the same with any kind of drapey fabric. It skims the body and it shows the body very much, particularly in the back when I've got this tied at the front. You can have it tied in the back, but I prefer it tied in the front. And so what I will say is if I'm going to be wearing underwear with this, which I am, I need to be wearing underwear specifically designed for no panty lines, or it looks really like obviously underwear in your face when I'm wearing it, and it's not a good look. So I do have one pair of that like non-VPL visible panty line underwear, which I don't love in general because I prefer more breathable underwear, but it works for the purpose. I am gonna make another one of these dresses because I really want a summery version. There's a sleeveless version that you can wear for summer, and I'm gonna use a slightly heavier weight jersey fabric, just like a cotton jersey, because I feel like then I won't have that same issue of it being quite so figure hugging in the back. It doesn't put me off wearing this one, honestly. I do really love it. And the thing that I find interesting with this one is whenever I wear this, somebody somewhere compliments me on the color. Not even the dress. Like, I have had compliments on the dress, but everyone says how nice that color looks on me. So petrol blue is a color that I've always just loved looking at. I find it just absolutely beautiful and mesmerizing to look at, but I haven't really worn it a ton. So I am going to be thinking a little bit more about that and trying to incorporate that color into my wardrobe here and there where I can, because it's a really beautiful color. And I agree, I think it does work really well with my skin tone, my hair and everything. So I think it is one that I'm going to be reaching more for in the future. And then that brings us to today, the 28th of May, and I am wearing my Heyday jumpsuit. This is the second Heyday jumpsuit that I made where I feel like I really nailed it with the fit on this one. I made some alterations to it to make it a bit better than my first version that you've seen earlier this month. So this is a pattern by Paper Theory. The neckline of the initial version, the way that it's drafted, for me was just really a bit too low in the crossover section, and it was way too revealing in the bust. I had to put a snap on it to keep it in place. This one, I actually stole the neckline of the Peppermint wrap top, which is another free pattern from Peppermint Magazine designed by In the Folds that I happen to know. I've made the wrap top and it wraps really well, where I feel like it's not too high up on me, but it's not ever revealing. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm going to just steal how the angle of that wrap and stick it onto this jumpsuit. I also sized down 2 whole sizes in this pattern compared to where my body measurements are recommended that I make it, because my first version was just so massive, and I think I'd even maybe sized down 1 size for that version. So this one is 2 sizes down from what's recommended, and for me it is just the perfect fit. It is so good. I love how this one turned out. I did also shorten the bodice a bit because the other one was quite low, but that's not unusual for me. I quite often have to move the waistline up on things, so I did do that on this one. And then other than that, I just made it basically as it was. It is in this really beautiful fabric. This is a viscose lawn fabric that I got from the Fabric Godmother. It's actually a Lady McElroy fabric. It is super soft. It is very almost like fuzzy kind of soft feeling. It feels really lovely to touch. It has incredible drape, and I feel like it is just such a fun and cool statement jumpsuit. I get lots of compliments again when I wear this one. I was wearing a lot of favorites this week, I think, because this is definitely, I don't know if I could pick a favorite jumpsuit, but this is for sure up there. It's one of my top ones, and I've made quite a few, but this is just such a comfortable one to wear, but it looks just so elevated. It doesn't look just comfortable. It looks like just really cool and pretty, and I don't know. I feel like I feel kind of grown up and fancy in it. I know I'm like a 40-year-old woman. I talk about feeling grown up, but I'm just giving you my impressions, right, guys? You know what I'm talking about. Some things you feel a little bit more childish and playful, and sometimes you feel a little bit more, you know, grown up. And that's how I feel in this jumpsuit. I do love it. And like I said, the V is just right for me. The crossover is just perfect. Yeah, love this jumpsuit in general, and it was fun to be able to wear it and share it with you guys. So I am planning to do one final video as a roundup of my Me Made May. So I will be sharing that, like I said earlier, later on this week. And I hope that you guys are enjoying Me Made May. If you have been taking part, I know a lot of people have been getting a bit tired out here and there, which is often what happens when you commit to something for a whole month. I am really glad that I've persevered though with what I had intended, even if I am going to be a little bit relieved to be finished with it all on the 1st of June. But I will talk to you guys a bit more about that next time, and a little bit about the lessons that I've learned throughout this month. I feel like there's been quite a lot. Please do subscribe to my channel if you want to see that video or any other videos that will be coming up in the future. Give me a like if you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!